Justin the Zilla here, back with another Friday live stream, another day, another Friday, another week talking about toys. Let's get everything. Live chat is going. We are actually gonna do our things. I knew I forgot something. There we go. All right, here we are, back again. Another week, another live stream, another day to talk toys, do our stuff, and you know, just yap. Hopefully, have a good time, and you know. And as y'all can see, stash is gone, at least for a moment. I did shave it. I think it was Sunday. So last Sunday, shaved it all off. I just needed a good reset. Stash was kind of going out of control. It was a lot. So I was like, yeah, I was trimming it, and I was like, I'm at the point of no return. It's not going the way I wanted it to. So got one light. There we go. But yeah, so we're here doing our thing, chatting about toys, talking about stuff, and seeing what's going on. Got a few cool new things. Got things changing a bit. Even here on the wall, it's probably obvious which thing because I'm kind of covering it up. But we're here. We're yapping. Be sure before anything else, before we get into anything else, be sure like this video, comment what you want to see here on the channel, and or anything you really want to comment at all. I appreciate the engagement and the whole thing. And be sure to subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Every little thing helps. Appreciate it. But get into toy talk. First main thing, of course, the update on the wall. As you can see, only one major difference. Is this not? Hold on. My thing keeps going. Is that not fully plugged in? It's plugged in. My light just keeps turning off. I guess I'm gonna have to see with that. Yeah, one of my lights keeps turning off. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I guess I'll just have to see. But okay, I'm getting distracted. All my tech issues already. But yeah, no stash. But then talking about the wall, one major update because of the stream, we now got Scareglow up there from the Masters of the Universe Chronicles line. Their first of the line, which kind of, I guess, coincides with technically with the movie, the He-Man movie. So I don't think he's in there. I think this is just more of like their own design. But with Chronicles, it's a bit more articulated. It's a bit more bigger, a lot more detail. So we'll see him at some point. I don't know. Anytime soon, maybe, probably not. I have other plans for doing He-Man stuff, especially with the movie. Excuse me. Hold on. I'm sorry. Didn't realize this mic was not pointed. Is this going to be a problem? Hopefully not. I got to pay attention to what I'm doing. But yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, Scareglow. He's up there now where the Clone Wars, the Obi-Wan used to be. I'm gonna adjust this a bit, yeah, because everything is all kind of spaced weird, especially here. I gotta figure out like what's this first row kind of set up. I have to get that. Of course, like the turtles are all still the same. I still got T'Challa. I still got Chadwick Boseman. Still got She-Hulk and Invisible Woman, and then got My Joes with Flint and CoverGirl, and got Whiplash there. Some point, those are all be open at some point. Everything's going to be open at some point. I mean, everything on the wall for now. It's just there for now. Even with our turtle stuff, with our Mirage line, where I got the what is it? Yeah, what do they call it? The Ultimate Body Count. Casey Jones there. He'll definitely be opened. Planning is 4th of July, so a little bit of a spoiler, but Baxter, definitely going to open him at some point, maybe in June, I think my plan is. Those I'm not sure of my Foot Clan with the Elite Guard with Karai as the Shredder and the Foot Enforcer. Kind of gonna see, and then also the color variant of the Foot Enforcer, where that's the black and blue version. That one I'm probably never really gonna open. I think those I'm just gonna probably get rid of at some point. It's just not something I care about from design wise or for these figures, so we'll see. But then, if my hair gets out of the way, we got the last Ronin stuff still. We still got the ninjas, the cyborg ninjas. Sinja, yeah, the Sinja. We have the white, and also two of the blue ones, because I got the 2-pack and then also the single blue variant, and then also the NECA Usagi Ojimbo, because I'm waiting for that Playmates one, because they have announced that. So that's going to be reissued, along with, I think, Worm and a couple of like the bug guys kind of as villains. I forget. Just more stuff, so waiting on that. So that'll be definitely a future stream at some point. My light just went out again. I don't know why it's not. Is it not like fully plugged in? Or is this like a bad wire? What the hell is happening? Hold on. Give me a sec. I'm gonna mute this. One moment. What the hell? What? Bruh. All right. I've returned. So hopefully my light is working. It keeps dying on me. Dominic, welcome. Welcome to the live stream, sir. I'm having a little bit of tech issues with my lighting. One of my lights keep dying. But welcome to the live stream. I don't know if you've been here before, but if you haven't, every week we look at figures, we open figures. Oh, hold on. Sorry, my mic was muted, and my mic keeps falling over in front of me. There we go. I think that's better. Okay. Hello, what's your name? Dominic. Welcome to the live stream. I'm Justin the Zilla. As you probably know, maybe. I don't know if you've been here before, but welcome. We're talking toys, talking Star Wars a little bit later. But I'm just yapping about my wall, the potential, because we have a new addition with the Scare Glow there, so I need to switch up my setup there, but hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us on the live stream. But I think I talked about everything on the wall. Well, I still got Cammy, still got Kazar up there. So those are definitely potential live stream things or videos or whatever at some point. I gotta do more variety. I just don't have time, but Dominic said I bought something great a few days ago. It's a green light 124 scale Dodge Monaco Taxi from the movie Rocky 3. That's cool. Are you kind of like a model car collector? Is like Hot Wheels or is it like some other company? But that's really cool. I don't think I've ever seen a Rocky 3, but that does sound like a pretty cool car. Yeah, and I have seen like a few guys around in my area who do collect, model cars, specifically Hot Wheels. I've seen a lot of those dudes around, which makes sense because we're going to the same toy section, so I see like a dozen guys there all the time. But yeah. Oh, but speaking of pickups, we do have some for our weekly pickups over here. So first things first. Went over, what is it? I went over to GameStop. Oh wait, no. Let me back up. I went to my local comic shops. First one Rocket Comics, and then second one is Fanfare. I went to both of those, got some figures. Always nice to, support your local businesses, all your comic shops or any kind of toy or collector store. Always support them because they're great. But yeah, but while at Rocket, just looking through, trying to like pick. Oh, but Dominic says, yeah, I am a model car collector. Greenlight should make a 1/64th version of the Taxi as well. I mean, they made the Cadillac in 1/64th scale, and I think in 1/18th scale too. Okay, that's cool. Okay, yeah, so so the company is Greenlight. Okay, that makes sense. Should make a 1/64th scale. I'm trying to even like think about. Yeah, because I work with 1/12 scale figures. I have 6-inch figures, even some that are 12-inch, but still with the lines and everything, and then some 7-inch. It's like McFarlane specifically, but different variety. But mainly stick to 6-inch, which is 1/12, at least for mine. So 1/64. So that's like, I don't know how big that is. And even like a 1/18 scale, like that's pretty good. Like for like a car, like for like a little model car, like that's pretty good. Because I got like some motorcycles, I got a car, I got the Batmobile, and that's like a full 6-inch kind of thing. Well, it's more like 5-inch, but it works. It looks good. But but at Rocket Comics, Eddie there has been getting a few cool new things, and it's always good to finally get some newer figures. I'm always kind of like, okay, give me that newer stuff. I'm ready to get the heavy hitters whenever I can. But Dominic says Greenlight even got the Ferris Bueller's Day Off license a few years ago, but they only made the checker taxi cab from the movie. Okay, that's cool. Is that I'm trying to remember. Is that like the same one? Yeah, where he's like in a parade or something? I forget what it is. But if not, then that's like that, like kind of like no top car. So I don't know if that's even a taxi. I can't remember. It's been so long, like since I've seen that movie. So it's been a while. But Rocket picked up the new comic wave Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, where this is kind of based off of, a very specific version of Daredevil, where he has the all black kind of suit. I don't know if this came first before the Netflix version. It looks like it's probably before the Netflix. I mean, just based on the art. Who is? Yeah, I wonder who did the art on this. This art is amazing, I will say. I love the comic art on there, and then a cool figure, something new and different, and I don't complain about getting Daredevils. Thoughts on the KK scale 1/18th Bluesmobile? I would say I can't really have an opinion because I don't collect cars, I'll be honest. I don't collect model cars, but I like the Bluesmobile. Yeah, I love the Blues Brothers. Yeah, I love that movie. I can't really say, and I can't really look right now because I'm streaming on my phone. So sorry if I'm not able to look at stuff, because if I did, I think it would pause my thing. So apologies. Don't really have an opinion on that specific thing. I can maybe look it up afterwards if I remember. It always takes a bit, but but I appreciate the sentiment. But I do love that movie, and I do love that they basically have an old cop car and they just destroy that thing throughout the film. It's just really fun. So, but yeah, got Daredevil, comes with the comic. So ERTL also made a 1/18 scale Bluesmobile 2. They made that one under the Joyride RC2 banner. So was that like an RC car? That's crazy. If so, that's nice. And that kind of makes sense for how frantically and how insane like the car stuff was in that movie. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, got Daredevil. He's pretty cool in the all black with the one baton and everything. The man without fear. But yeah, but definitely planning on getting at least most of I think this new wave. He also did have Feral there too. Been seeing Beast a lot, and he also had the Phoenix there as well. I'm probably planning on getting Feral the most next out of these. So, yeah, but Silver Surfer for sure. He's definitely on that list, but I just gotta get there. But it's definitely on the list. Need to get him because it's been a while, like since we've gotten like a newer, updated, like but Silver Surfer. But he's kind of like a mainstay, and I do have the older Walgreens that's not pinless, so it's like it's time. Yeah, then also the fact that I like the new head sculpt that I think is from the HasLab Galactus. But Dominic says RC2 is a sub brand from ERTL, also pronounced Ertl, by the way. Okay. Ertl. Okay, so just like a different name. It's not really something like crazy different compared to like the regular models and stuff that they would do in their Bayline. Excuse me. But yeah, so expect this guy at some point. But yeah, but Silver Surfer and Feral are definitely top two other ones. Beast maybe, and then even like the Black Widow, she's not bad. I like her look, and it makes sense for that to go with Cap and to go with Wolverine. With the comic cover that they're recreating. But also still need to get like that jacketed one because I really like that look for her. And then also like the Phoenix to complete like the Excalibur team. I don't even have any of the other Excalibur figures yet, which I need to get, but I feel like those even need updates now already. Especially with Captain Britain, he needs it. He needs to be all new. Like please, y'all. RC2 also had the brand. Oh, the learning curve too. So what do you mean by like had the brand learning curve? As in like they literally had kind of like a learning curve of how they want to do these, or is that like a specific kind of thing? I'm not educated, so yeah, I appreciate you educating me on this different kind of level of collecting. Yeah, that I'm not even a part of, but it's always been interesting. And I always look at like the model cars that are there, like in the toy sections at stores, and I'm like, okay, those are cool. Like those are kind of cool cars, but I just never pick them up because I'm just like, I don't need another big old thing to get into because I got other figure stuff to get into. Because we'll get into our second pickup from my other local comic shop, Fanfare. Great place there. And they had, surprisingly, I was very much shocked to see this, and I'm debating on opening her today. I'll kind of see from y'all if you want me to. I mean, it is a Star Wars day; it's a Star Wars theme, but also picked up the what's her name, Ayla Secura from the Black series, her first release. Not from the what is it? The Revenge of the Sith version 1 in the bubble. In that classic packaging. This is their first release where she just came with just the one lightsaber, didn't have the effect. But she looks great, and my local comic shop, being amazing, put her up for $12. Like, how can I not say no? I feel like this figure was kind of hard to find, or like was just out, and people were like, "Oh, okay, I'll order that," and then it didn't really make stores at least that much, at least in my area. But the name brand. Oh, okay. Had the brand learning curve too. Okay, yeah, had the brand learning curve. Okay, the name of the brand was a learning curve. RC2 owned Ertl, you have a Learning Curve, yeah, Racing Champions, and Joyride, yeah, Entertainment. That's a lot. That's a crazy amount, but that's cool. That's cool to see from them. But yeah, Ayla Secura got her for $12, which is insane. So I was like, of course I'm buying this. Why wouldn't? Excuse me, I buy this. Yeah, but that's a lot of brands, or a lot of, I guess, lines. Okay. Yeah, would you call those like technically like lines, like those different, like those card things, or are they like more specifically like, okay, yeah, these are brand specific, they do specific cards, they do specific designs or whatever? I don't really know, but it's cool. It's interesting. Yeah. So gonna be debating on opening Ayla, yeah, Sakura today because I'm opening a lot of Jedi and at least one assassin. She's not really a Sith, but I kind of count her anyways. Dominic says Learning Curve is under Tommy nowadays. They were sold to Tommy in 2008/2009. They made many different diecast toys. Okay, so that's like a different thing or a different company, I guess. So that's cool. Nice. Excuse me for yawning. I've been working all day. Yeah, that's what I do every day, it feels like. Except for like tomorrow and Sunday. Every other day, I'm just working all day, coming home, trying to recover, and then also doing that. RC2 also owned Johnny Lightning, too. Johnny Lightning. That's, yeah, it does sound familiar, but I can't think about it. About like what that connects. Is that like a specific franchise, or is that like a specific kind of thing that they did? Brother, breathe. What am I doing? I just keep yawning. But Ayla Sakura, $12 from Fanfare. Badass. Might open. Maybe. She'll be on the table just in case. We might as well, you know. And then last pickup, as I mentioned earlier, I also went to GameStop. Had a few good figures. Still saw there that they had the still had the Deadpool Wolverine, the brown suit Wolverine, and then their more standard Wolverine with the sleeveless thing, but he's all battle damaged. I don't think they had X-23 anymore, so kind of sucks, but I was just kind of like, okay, oh well, I'll just move on. So yeah, I didn't even like think about that at the time. I didn't even think about it, but I was like, what was she there? I can't remember. I don't think so, but you know, Johnny Lightning is also a diecast brand founded by Topper Toys in 1969. RC2 bought them in the late 2000s after playing Mantis lost the rights to the castings. Whoa. That's crazy. Like losing like your licensing to the actual like the cast of these models and these cars, that's crazy. That's cool. Founded by Topper Toys, 1969, brother. RC2 bought them in the late 2000s. I feel like I've seen RC2. That does kind of click in my head. Yeah, probably as a kid, I just probably have like little toy cars. And I was like, can I get that one? And they're like, sure. Have a car. And I'm like, okay, car. Because I'm a child. Because I'm a little toddler in the early 2000s. But yeah, but GameStop, a little bit of a spoiler, but still had like their standard stuff. They've had a lot of Street Fighter stuff. Also did have a Godzilla there last time I went, but I didn't pick him up either. And then I think he was gone as well. So I'm like, okay, maybe next time. Because I'm still waiting on that GMK. I gotta see. I'm pretty sure he's probably gonna ship out whenever the pre-order for the Secret Wars Daredevil comes into effect, so I'm waiting for that. So in due time. But they did have something very interesting there at GameStop. A line I've been very interested in getting into and kind of just seeing and being like, okay, yeah, once I see these in person, then I'll make the decision if I want to get into these. And, well, at least got to get the one. Mega Man. Specifically, Jada's. Their Mega Man figure. I think this is the exact same one from the first wave, but this one is, it does say down here, it is a, where is it? It does say that, yeah, that this is a 2026 figure, but I'm pretty sure this figure came out in like 2025, didn't it? That feels right to me. Dominic says in 2008 20 slash 2009, yeah, Johnny Lightning was bought by Tommy 2. And RC2 has a red shooting star over the logo. That's very familiar. Yeah, like the shooting star, like I can imagine that. I probably saw that as a kid. And I've been like, oh, star, car. Because I'm a simple child. But yeah. But then got Mega Man up in here. Looking great. Another line that I'm already getting myself into that I really don't have that much attachment to. I really just kind of like, I enjoy those older games. I like watching videos of them because I've never actually played any of the games myself. I'm sorry. I'm not very much a gamer. I live vicariously through the internet and my friends because my thing is, of course, toys, figures. So I'm like, give me a Mega Man. Get this thing. It's the first time I've like seen one in person. At least I think so. No. I think Eddie at Rocket has a few. I think he has like the Bomberman version. I think he has like Pyro Man or whatever he's called. So might get a few of those guys. I need to get the yeah, I want to get like the Scissor Man or like Cut Man to go with this for sure. And I definitely want to get his dog. I forget what his dog is called, but he's like the pinkish kind of red dog, but he's really cool. And he looks like a great figure, so can't wait for that. And definitely need to get Dr. Wily at some point. I want to get like the little like the construction hat dudes. I don't know how those really look that much, but we'll see. But Dominic says the Lightning Collection Herbie also. What's that? Oh, okay, wait. Yeah, the Johnny Lightning Herbie also once got re-released by RC2 many years ago after the Playing Mantis one debuted in 2003, 2004, and 2005. RC2 took over. Okay. I get that then. Okay. Man, I'm getting like all my history on these like on these model car toys. That's very interesting. Kind of like how the brands are always jumping in between. And that's, and I feel like that's kind of a business thing that they always do. And I'm like, okay, one company exists for a while, and then they kind of slowly peter out, and then like your company that has been persisting and been around for either as long or a little bit newer, or maybe like a rebrand, they're like, okay, we're taking all that, we're moving it over here. And here's stuff here and here and here and here. So keep buying. And everyone's like, all right, just don't become a monopoly. Like, don't take over at all. And they're like, no, we would never, even though we own like 5 companies already. So, but yeah, got Mega Man. Looking forward to getting whatever I'm interested in. I would also like to see, like the actual, like the 2 other, like the human characters, because there's like another, like a female main character, and then also like the other, like the doctor on there. I forget what his name is, but he looks like Santa Claus. And I'm like, Santa Claus made Mega Man. What the hell? And he's a doctor or a scientist, whatever it is. But Dominic says RC Toy also had their own catalogs too. In 2006, it was filed to the brim. Yeah, it was filled. Excuse me. Filled to the brim with die casts and model kits. That's cool. Hold on, let me get a bit more comfortable. There we are. But yeah, cool figure. But that's very interesting. Have their own catalogs. It's filled to the brim with die cast and model kits. That's cool. Like it was like a whole like a physical like a catalog. Yeah, that you could buy and was like, here's everything. Yeah, that's here just in 2008 and 2009 up to that point. That's crazy, but Mega Man finally getting Jada stuff. I need to get more Jada stuff. I'm planning on probably getting their Tony the Tiger and the Chester Cheetah. I'm trying to think of who else they've done food wise. Okay, yeah, they are also going to be doing the Flintstones. Yeah, you got Fred Flintstone and then also Barney Rubble because of like of the Fruity Pebbles and the Cocoa Pebbles. So kind of perfect for those. I'm kind of tempted. And also they're doing their Scooby-Doo line as well. Those look very good. And I was like, oh, I really want those, but I gotta kind of see. I gotta kind of hold myself back a bit. Because I'm getting like things like Mega Man. I'm not too big on Mega Man, but it's Mega Man. At least I gotta get one to represent. He can go with the Street Fighters. He can be like my Capcom. Even though I need more representation of them anyways. But in any case, Mega Man. Oh, looking badass. Looking cool. So yeah. So that's about it for our pickups. And a nice little chat with Dominic. Excuse me, what the heck? Yep, Dominic there talking about all his model and diecast cars. That's cool. Appreciate the chat there, Dominic. Whoa. All right. I think, we're already about a half hour in, just past. So do we just want to get into it? Because I do have a fair amount of figures, including possible Ayla, depending on how I'm feeling. I don't even know what I'm going to open first. We'll just see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I think I'll just start out. I'll just open up our thing here on the back. Let me make sure everything is secure. And we'll just go for it. Have a fun-filled day with Star Wars. Happy May the 4th. I guess I should just mention, because this is the May the 4th be with you special, the Star Wars Day. Special because it's on Monday, so it's Friday. And then Hasbro did a stream today, so that was cool. They revealed a lot of kind of like the vintage wave. Main thing that really stuck out from that, even though I don't collect that line, from the Star Wars, like the vintage wave, they had the older Anakin, where he wasn't like a ghost form, he was just like Anakin. It's just basic Anakin as the old man from Return of the Jedi. Yeah, when he's a ghost, but he's not all like translucent. He's just regular. So I would like to see an actual Black Series figure. That would be neat. Need to get a new Obi-Wan. Yoda's fine. Could maybe use an update, but I do need to get that Clone Wars Yoda, the one that comes with the chair, and then also it's like a 2-pack with some kind of like clone trooper. I think it has like a green thing. Does it there? Because then you have Mace Windu, his 2-pack. Yeah, that also comes with another clone trooper that has the purple. So it makes sense. At least, all of them are getting their clones packed in with them in any case. So not too bad. So, but yeah, what was I yapping about? But yeah, it's Star Wars Day, so opening up some Star Wars figures for May the 4th. Yeah, this was like my go-to. I was like about to be like, but I'm like, that's freaking Star Trek. Of course it is. Yeah, it's like the joke where it's like, may the force be with you. But whatever. But yeah, so a Star Wars filled day. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about Hasbro's live stream. With their reveals, nothing very too much that I'm like too into. A lot of Knights of the Old Republic, I think, had some more more of like the video game stuff going on. And then most interesting thing, they had like two like con exclusives that they showed off. Main thing was like this clone trooper that had like a walker kind of thing, and that's from like the Clone Wars, but where he's actually like piloting it just by himself. So that's really cool. Kind of like a proto, like a AT-AT, or is it ATST or is it AT-AT? I forget which one's which. The one that's not the giant, like the four-legged thing that gets knocked over. It's like the two, like the big square head and then the 2 feet that they use. But it's kind of like a proto. It's kind of like a before that. So where they are more open and they're it's like, and it's probably just one other guy in there, and it's very much smaller, so it's a one-man thing. But I think I remember using that in the Star Wars Lego game. Might be a potential for that. Don't really have the space for it, but time will tell. I'm probably most likely not gonna get it, but I'm just like, it's a cool thing. I'm familiar with it, and I kind of want it in my collection, so we'll see with that convention exclusive with that clone trooper and his little walker thing. If I'll be getting that, we'll see. But of everything else, from what I saw, because I saw like this full spread of what they were showing off, but I can't really think of very much else that really got me. Because everything else was more, it felt more generic, really, than anything. I was like, okay, kind of just your generic guy, your other Twi'lek, because we can't get enough Twi'leks, and then some other figures. I'm surprised they didn't do like more like Mandalorian and Grogu stuff. I feel like that makes more sense. But maybe they're still waiting to do maybe a few more reveals on Monday, which would make sense if they would want to do that and have their own kind of thing going on. So pretty neat, but not a whole lot to talk about. When it comes to my personal interest of Star Wars, so. But they've been cooking it up, to be honest. They have been doing well for a while, and recently been pretty decent. Just haven't been getting a whole ton. Of course, I got Ayla, but that's $11 fucking dollars. So it's past the point. We can say the fuck word now, because I'm an adult man. Sorry, kiddos. This is not for kids. I say the fuck word. All right. We're going to stop yapping with me and the camera. We're going to get into these toys. Have ourselves some fun. Star Wars Day. What's the word? Not posthumous. What is it? Or preemptive. Is that the word? Or preemptive Star Wars Day. I guess that's my word. We'll get into figures. There they are, kind of knocked over. And this stuff is kind of in the way. Here, I'll get Ayla sitting there. I'll move this stuff that I don't exactly need right now. But there's our rundown. Also, Anakin is there too, but he's in a baggie, as you can see. So yeah, but here's our full spread there. We got Asajj Ventress, we got Kit Fisto, and we got Obi-Wan in packaging for the Clone Wars, and then his matching Anakin as well, and then possibly Ayla if we're feeling fancy. Maybe she might be first, honestly. We might as well just do them all. Maybe I'll get the short up on Star Wars Day. That might be something. I can actually plan that out and be intentionally late about making those shorts. Oh, and I do want to mention. Oh yeah, I did also. Oh yeah, I'll have to plug this, but you know, I did make a couple new shorts. Like literally, I finished them today. Like I had them like ready to go like during the weekend. Like I think on Sunday, but I just was just busy. I just didn't get around to finishing them. I only like had to add like the music. Like everything else was kind of like more edited, kind of like completed and done. So it's kind of like okay, let's see what goes on. Let's see if I'll have time, if I can commit, and I finally committed to it today because I'm also a procrastinator as well. So apologies, but yeah, I got the April one up too. I was kind of hesitant of that, but the April one, she's doing decent. I forget how much she was at. She had like 80 or something, and then compared to the GI Joe classified police figures, like those are doing really good. Of course, they use Bad Boys, an actual like a more kind of famous song compared to the April one. Yeah, where I was just looking for something. It's more of like a Turtles kind of soundtrack theme, but it worked. It worked pretty well. But yeah, for our full spread here, we'll get bruh and bruh and bruh. Look at that. Look at that spread. Look at all these Jedi stuff. All these Star Wars. Finally going to be able to add a lot. A lot of course, Clone Wars and more so of Revenge of the Sith. Is she specifically? Oh, wait, no. She's Attack of the Clones. So this is well before she dies, even though this looks like... Oh, well, no, that's the other thing. Okay, we'll get into it. Yeah, we're gonna open up her for sure. I mean, why not? She didn't make the thumbnail because I didn't plan on it. I was just like, you know what? I'll just have her. She's, in the pickups, so pickups don't really make it to the stream. I usually prefer to do ones, that I've bought this week, another week in the future. I'm pretty sure that I've explained this like plenty of times, but just for my own personal, it's like my own kind of like OCD brain in some cases doing its thing, and then Kid Fisto doesn't bode too well with these lights because of how his plastic is so shiny and so bubbly, so it's kind of like it kind of covers him up, but I'm like, see the man, I'm gonna use my hand because look at that dude. Try to use my other hand because look at that guy. That guy's a freaking badass. He's freaking awesome. That's Kit Fisto, brother. But lots of cool figures. I think most of these, at least, okay. Of course, we'll talk about Anakin. He did come from Rocket Comics. Shout out to them. He was $30. Oh my god. So this was something like last year I definitely picked up. I did not pick them up initially. When I saw them, I don't think I ever saw any of these in store, especially in packaging. But then got Anakin here, all his glory in the baggie, pretty cool. And then of course I got Obi-Wan at Rocket Comics as well for a pretty buck, $60. I was willing to do it. I was committed to the bit. He's been on the wall like ever since then, so he's been like a mainstay in the collection, but it'll be cool to finally get him open because I love this design so much. I want to see what their Obi-Wans feel like, even if he's a little old, but they look great. And I got the Anakin at the same time and I like playing with my toys. I know probably people are going to be upset that I'm opening this now, but you know what? My collection, my toys. I'll have my fun, and I always keep the card backs and all the artwork, so nothing is being totally thrown away. Well, except for like the plastic bubble and everything else. But you'll have art. It's still there. Obi-Wan Kenobi, I wish they had like more of a thing there to explain like what the show is, but you have the thing there. And then of course the same thing with Kit Fisto with that classic kind of Revenge of the Sith packaging, like the original toys that came out, like kind of like 3-inch figures, still Hasbro, I think, but you got your image, you got Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, you got all your stuff here with the thing with the clashing, and then on the back has the more actual bio there and with a nice image of the figure. Cool. And how all these are just celebrations of Star Wars. It's like Star Wars has been around. Look at these old figures. 50 years of Lucasfilm. 20 years of Revenge of the Sith. Celebrating the 20th anniversary of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith with figures from the Black Series. Yes, okay. So you have your 50th of Lucasfilm and your 20th of Revenge of the Sith versions, including the Anakin, who is the 50th anniversary version, but no packaging because I got them loose. And then got a Asajj Ventress character that's been needed in my collection. One of my favorite characters from the Clone Wars show. Even in that original kind of version, like she was super cool. I would like to see that all black. Oh yeah, they did also announce that that's also I think another convention exclusive is Ventress and Anakin from that original 2D animated thing. But of course in the Black Series kind of style, so they're a bit more kind of like they're still more so like this kind of style, like you're more realistic, like how they do Ventress here is a little bit more still kind of like blends in with the more actual live action figures that they make. And then same thing when it comes to like the Clone Wars, because you can see from here it just looks like Ewan McGregor wearing the costume, but then here you see that's the animated look, where he's all like angular and and 3D weird looking. Okay, it's not that weird, but this is definitely like an early version of the design. I feel like that they improved it later on, but this is still a great Obi-Wan. He looks cool. He looks great. He's a little blonde, I'll say, but we'll get into it. But Asajj Ventress, and you see like her, she is a bit more kind of like more simplified. She is definitely more exaggerated in that cartoon, a little bit more but angular. So this is more so like the Black Series kind of version of her, but she looks great, and I think that this is like their reissue too. Also got this at GameStop. Also, got to mention, I forgot. I think I still have the sticker. I got this figure for $8 at Walmart. Thank you, Walmart. I know that that's probably still going around for some people too, with some Star Wars figures specifically. So so really cool to get him for $8. Get those at the comic shop. Get her. I got her at GameStop. There, I think I used my points for that because I do got their subscription. I keep mentioning that too because I keep buying stuff at GameStop because they have good figures. And so whenever I buy figures from them, I can use my monthly thing, which is actually activated as of today. So, I mean, definitely at least one's going to be going to GameStop. But I went twice already last month. So, that's kind of a lot for me. I'm like, sometimes it's not a monthly thing, but sometimes I just forget because I'm just so busy. And I'm like, oh yeah, I should finally go to GameStop. At least see if they got something. And I always buy something anyway, so one of them things. And then, of course, got Aayla Secura from Fanfare. So everyone's represented. Your main corporate stores and your local businesses, but they got the goods there, even if that one is actually a great deal and a cool figure. So, what shall we do? What shall be opened first? Kind of like, okay, I kind of want to go like just down the line, as you see here. Yeah, from right to left. I think we're going to do Ayla, we'll do Asajj, we'll do Fisto, and then we'll do Anakin, and Obi-Wan. Unless y'all here on the live stream want to see a different setup, if you want to see a specific figure first, I might leave the Obi-Wan and Anakin for last. Just personally, that feels good there because they're kind of the Star Wars guys. I mean, it's Obi-Wan and Darth Vader and Anakin. He's the chosen boy. He's the man. He is the dude. It's his story, essentially. Well, it's also Luke's story, but you know, it's different. Also, I definitely need to get the I gotta mention, I definitely gotta get their Ahsoka Tano, specifically the Padawan version. I do have the Ahsoka show version, and I didn't even grab her. I didn't even think about getting her, but that makes more sense. Hold on, I'm going to retrieve. I have stood up. I am in my room. Ooh, I'm trying to get to this figure. Ooh. Move the droid. Has the child. Has the Grogu. We'll get her there. Is there anything else I need to get? I don't think so. I think we good. Okay. Cool. Alrighty. Is this it? Is this all I'm looking at? I want to make sure I'm not missing any other comparisons in case I'm looking at specific stuff, but I think I'm okay for now. I think I'll be in the clear. I'm not thinking of very much else I can really use. It's a lot of, prequels or a couple of OG trilogy, and then, a lot of Clone Wars, Jedi, Sith, clones, the droids, your usuals. So, but yeah, we'll just get into opening. We will go with Ayla Secura first, kind of our more kind of like just basic figure. I mean, you would say that about Kit Fisto and probably Obi-Wan and Anakin, because they all have just like the standard, okay, they're there and they have lightsabers, but of course with Obi-Wan and Anakin and Kit Fisto have the more exclusivity, while Ayla, is like freaking what? $12. $12. What the hell? This is amazing. So we'll get her. Well, even though I got him for like $8, but it kind of weighs out. So I spent a lot of that money on getting on getting these two bastards. But yeah, we will get going. We're gonna. How do I want to do this setup? I think I'll just keep them all up here. We're kind of just going with the flow, y'all. We'll put Obi-Wan back here. We'll put Fisto. Get Anakin. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, that's our setup there. And then we'll be looking at Ayla Secura. And we will be going kind of quick with these figures. We're not going to be doing too much detail-wise. Like, I'll go over, like, articulation and all their details that we have here. Of course, with the figure, but, as it all is. We have 5 figures to open tonight, which is plentiful more than what I usually do. I usually do like 1 or 2, maybe 3, or maybe a 4-pack if I'm insane. but I'm doing 5, so we're gonna be going because we're already almost an hour in. We are at 55 minutes and 15 seconds. I don't know why I waited for that one. It just felt right. But yeah. Gonna get our trusty tools. Specifically, more so, with our trusty X-Acto blade. X-Acto, the blade. Make sure, check on these comments. How y'all doing? Nothing yet. Thank you for your support for those who are watching. There's our thing. There's our figure. Oh yeah, I will go over packaging as well. Of course, I have the figure, Aayla Secura with her lightsaber, Star Wars, the Black Series. Have her image of her, more so I think like her look from the from the third movie. At least that's what I kind of recognize her more for. Is actually being like in that movie, even though she just dies. But you know, also have the battle there with that giant Death Star looking thing that has the legs that kind of like falls down and explodes. So you got some clones there running in. Aayla Secura, you have the red to go with Attack of the Clones. Aayla Secura, red on the side, the thing, window. On the back, same picture, kind of blown up. Aayla Secura, a cunning warrior and Jedi Knight during the rise of the Clone Wars. Aayla fought on many battlefields, a master of the emotional detachment necessary in the Jedi Order. She tried to pass on what she learned. Before she was shot down because of Order 66. Number 3 from Attack of the Clones. Not a ton of Attack of the Clones, huh? I guess it's really like, what? Anakin, Obi-Wan. What else? I guess Dooku? Dooku would make sense. I got him loose too, so I can't confirm. Probably so. Camera almost knocked over. Hello. Alright. Who else from Clone Wars? Oh, probably... I know, probably one of our other Jedi. I will not mention, because that's a spoiler. But, well, I already mentioned Dooku. Yeah, Ki-Adi-Mundi. The big head dude. Who's old. I think he is specifically from Attack of the Clones. Well, he was also in 3. I can't remember. I know I opened him at some point, so it was probably on a stream. It was probably like a variety day. Kind of like this, but, you know. In any case, there's Aayla Secura. She's number 3 of the Clone Wars. Well, Attack of the Clones movie figures from Black Series. So we'll go ahead, stop yapping. There's our thing, a barcode, the X-Acto open. Simple enough. Just the one, of course, got this for $12 at Fanfare, so that's badass. We'll never say no to that. Move my tool. But look at that, $11.99 for a Black Series figure. Can't ask for anything better. That thing has your gray. The middle there goes the box. I gotta be more careful because there's a light there. Used to be able to do it, but there she is, and she actually does have the cover piece there to the ether. Oh, of course, the trusty Hasbro paper. Ether gone to the bit. Nothing to exist over there. But there she is in all her plastic glory. We'll get out. How do I want to do this? I always struggle to get out these lightsabers. There is some tape here at the hilt, so gotta get that. And we can do our thing. Of course, there's tape here on the blade as well. We'll get her open. Get over there. Trying to get her here. I'll get her away from that. Just get her out. There's your thing. Bruh. All right. So there she is in all her plastic glory. We'll get her stood up here. Get a thing going with her. Where she's just standing there. Looking cool. Looking good. I like moving a bit. Oh, there she goes. Tricky. Tricky. There she is, kind of at a more neutral stance, and with her lightsaber. We'll kind of look at the lightsaber, I think, first, just to get it done and out of the way, because it's an accessory, but very basic. Just has some buttons and some switches and some crossings, and then has the peg that goes on there, but all silver, no other paint. But I think your lightsaber should be coming out. Yes. Very tight fit, but initially, but there it is. Just want to be careful about putting it in. But there you go. Very nice. And then there's Ayla herself with the head wrap thing going on. Have her little protrusions on the side of her head. I guess those might be ears in some case, but nice paintwork there with the printing there. I don't think it looks very much like the actual actress. I don't know. It doesn't really hit me that much. I think she's a little bit more proportionate. I think with the line more likely, because her head seems kind of big. I feel like the actual actress head was a little bit more kind of like, a little bit more what's the word? Kind of like I want to say hollow, but that's not it. Like, yeah, she she has a very like a thinner face. This is kind of like a little bit more puffed up, but has her back kind of like hair things going on here. I forget what they're called, but but she has the wraps on there, and that's all actually sculpted in there. Even if the paint misses a bit or is over top it, but not too bad really at all. And you're not really looking at that too much, so I'm not too concerned. But but a nice blue, to the skin tone. Of course, you have the bare arm right here, and then have the arm here that's cloved, that's connected with the actual, like the top piece there. So nice little details there. You have like some different textures there. That's more of like a skin, and that's like some kind of wrap. But this is definitely like a cover, because this kind of matches with the actual like the top there. So that's very cool, and it's all like super patterned there too. So that's actually kind of nice, having that subtle kind of earthy kind of thing going on there. But then you have the exposed belly there, of course, with the belly button, all that. But then you have her belt here, which is actually like a cool little design. I guess that's supposed to be, some kind of other natural kind of thing, but has like a pad on there, has these two little strands here, strands on either side, so kind of just fills her out, but then has the hole. Goes for the lightsaber, it just goes right through the belt, doesn't go into the body. You do not have a hole in there, but then you just have like some bare basic pants, kind of like what is it? It's kind of like a purplish, kind of a very purpley kind of maroon, but yeah, I don't know. It's a very specific color, but it works. It looks good. And then you have her boots there, go up to her knee high essentially, but all brown. And then she has the actual like the heels on there, but it is a boot, so it actually looks pretty good. And I hope it kind of helps her stand a bit better, even if we already saw her falling over before. But there she is. If we can get her standing, she is a little because she does have double jointed legs, so this must be reuse. of something, because they don't really do the double joints really anymore. At least I don't think so. But yeah, because with the male characters, I think specifically now. Well, maybe they do. I don't know. Yeah, these are kind of older figures by now. I don't think a lot of them have the double joint anymore, unless they were like a bit earlier and using these older molds, because you have your pegs there as well too. So that was also I think a reason why they're like, we're gonna make it pegless, make it the one joint, because we want to get more detail, kind of a little bit more simplified of the articulation. So it's like, okay, I get it, but they're pretty good though. And then, is there anything else? I guess that's really it. Nice texture on the back. I guess there it kind of continues there. So, but overall, nice figure. Articulation. She does have just I think a dumbbell joint at the top of the neck there, so she can look down about that far, look up about that far. Kind of jolts back to neutral because of how the hair is, so she can't really look up that much at all, really. But tilt side to side is a little loose. Wonder what's kind of going on in there. But yeah, but head tilt side back and forth. Some rotation there, and then at the arm, go up there on the bare arm. Is it different? No, it's about the same. I'm not too worried about that. But on the arm there, yeah, still about the same. And then you have your kind of like your rotation there on your single jointed elbow there, and then she does have a left and right hand for up and down for weapon holding. So that's very nice. It's very cool. So you get your up and down and you get your rotation. And then at the torso, of course, here at the upper torso, you do, I think, have another dumbbell joint. So you come back about that far, not bad. We're going to get her all straightened out, excuse me. Comes forward, not too bad. Side to side, and then full 360. And then at the legs, at the thighs, you kick forward. Not that far. Kick back. About that far. Not too shabby. Kicks out. About that far. Ooh, I'm going to get a little closer. All right. But then at the knees, you go almost all the way up, which is very nice. And then you do actually have a boot swivel, so that's kind of surprising for these guys, but a very nice welcome. And then have your foot or your shoe part go forward, come back about that far, not too bad. And does have your ankle rocker there as well. Hasbro is always great at, but sometimes with the Star Wars stuff, it's always a little more tricky. It's a little bit more kind of like, okay, can this thing balance? It can. That's nice. Can it hold the pose for very long? Sometimes not, but we're getting something right now, and basically there essentially for her. Is she left-handed or right-handed? Hold on. That's a very important question, and I don't want to knock over my camera just to answer it. Excuse me. Are you a lefty or a righty? You're holding it with both hands. That gives me no answer. I'll just have you be a righty, I guess, or a lefty, whatever it is. I mean, it works for both, so who really cares that much? I guess I do. Hold on, I'm trying to get this pose going. Hmm. Sorry, all I'm trying to get this figure in a good pose. Just not hitting right now. That's decent. Just feel like her head is kind of like the thing that's kind of a little difficult. Like it's fine, but it's also like these legs too are a little, I would say, kind of skinny and kind of long. At least I feel. Bruh. All right, there she is. That all right? There we go. Not too bad. I think that's pretty good for her. Just a nice kind of basic pose. Nothing too crazy. She's just there. She's looking cool for her Jedi picture. Ready to do her promo shots, if you will. So, yeah. But first figure in a while that have, you know, is a pickup that we've actually opened here on the stream in a while. So, pretty cool. Pretty nice. Awesome figure. First one down for the Star Wars. Get her over here, so very nice. There, then we'll get to Asajj. Ventress, get our women going first. Cool. Yeah. Get in here now. Yet again. All right. What are we doing here? Okay. So yeah, so here's Asajj. Let me get you a better angle. That better? A bit, I guess. There we go. I guess that's kind of our go-to for doing packaging, but there she is. All her plastic glory of all the colors. I think this is a more updated one. I believe the first one that they did was a little darker. It was still the same exact mold, but this is more so, I think, on with the actual cartoon colors, I believe, or even a more other just version, like later on or whatever. But nice looking there. Has Star Wars, The Clone Wars, Asajj, Ventress. Nice art on the side. Looks kind of like her a little of their own interpretation, but there's Tatooine, there's Jabba's palace. Is it a palace? I guess it is, but he's more of like a mob boss, so like more like Jabba's place. But you know, it's Star Wars, so it's a palace. Has window at the top, window on the side, continuing with that orangey kind of a yellow. That's with the Clone Wars. I kind of think of blue, to be honest, because that's a Clone Wars, but you know, that's how they deem them. They look good. Yeah, because I think like a New Hope is more of like a blue, so that makes sense. So Asajj Ventress, an assassin trained in the ways of the dark side by Count Dooku. Asajj Ventress yearned to be considered a true Sith, but such status wasn't allowed under the Sith's rule of 2. Man, that's crazy. But there she is. So not a full-blown Sith, but a trained assassin. Essentially, just uses the dark side. Just a dark side user, I guess, in some way. A full-blown Sith. Even though it's kind of just by name, let's be honest. Because you gotta have someone else. But then you have to be like, well, they're not actually a Sith. They're just a, yeah, they're just a trained assassin. They're not technically a Sith. Even though they have red lightsabers and use the Force for evil, essentially. To kill and then take control and do whatever. So, the standard. And then she is number 7, a part of this wave. I do need to get some other Clone Wars figures. I know for sure. Gotta get, who is it? Darth Maul's brother? The big yellow one, who's like all tough, also has the double-bladed lightsaber, has the armor. I forget what his name is. Wait, don't tell me. It's like Savage Opress or something. Whatever it is, but it's like Savage, I think. Or Savage Opress. Or something, but he's pretty cool. I gotta get his figure. Anyone else in Clone Wars? Oh yeah, I did say the Ahsoka Tano, specifically more so like her Padawan, kind of like I think season 1 through like 2 or 3 or something, where she's more like childlike, but then as she grows older, she's a little more matured, has a different look, and looks great, and is a badass. Even though in the beginning she's kind of like she's kind of annoying, but then it's kind of like she definitely grows on you. Like it's like, okay, she's a kid. She's not going to be the best at this, but she does very well. But having Anakin have a Padawan is actually kind of cool. I don't mind that at all. So, but this ain't about that Padawan. This is about Ventress. She's before Ahsoka. She was in the original 2D animated Clone Wars special, but in the all black kind of getup. Oh yeah, and then to come back around, they did announce that during the Hasbro Pulse live stream that they would be doing a Black Series 2-pack of her and Anakin from their fight scene in the 2D animated film, but of course in the Black Series style. So not a 1-to-1 to the cartoon, but more kind of a realistic, based on more of how they would probably look in a movie adaptation, maybe in some case, or show, live action show. We'll stop our yapping. Get to Asajj. Thank you to GameStop for this one. Get the same thing. Package empty to the ground. Have your cover for her plastic. And then there she is. Going on. Oh, looking great in all her plastic glory. These ones do not have tape over them. They are just linked together with these 2 plastic parts. So look away while I remove these, because these are always super sensitive and always scares the heck out of me. But that wasn't too bad of a grab, but gonna get her feet first, as I do with every figure, even if it's a little awkward. Oh, of course. Hasbro paper. Ether goes away. Never to be read. Was read once, I think, like literally, and then I was like, okay, never again. Because it's just the little, like, just the trash that comes with my figure. That is just something that's not needed. But look at her. Look at all Asajj Ventress like. I couldn't think of what to say. I feel like her face is kind of warped from the packaging. I think one of her cheeks got like sunken in or just kind of deformed. And she kind of has like, it's kind of funny. Like she has like a mustache kind of thing going on, at least to me. But I do like the actual paint scheme on here and how it looks there. I have the tattoos on the back. I'm not too big about this whole kind of purple getup. I think of her actually in darker colors now. Yeah, now that I'm seeing it. And also, I will say the skin tone to head ratio is not there with the paint. It's kind of off. Yeah. Kind of like it's not the same skin tone there, so that's kind of obvious. That kind of sucks. But I do like the metallic purple to the upper shirt there, and then has your wraps in a lighter purple there. So I like that they have theme. Yeah, they have a color scheme, and this is probably some kind of rendition of her costume, but at least for like in the bright lights, like it doesn't really work right now, but like in the collection, like if I have her like here in the shadows with me, like she doesn't look bad at all. She looks fine. I could maybe go for like maybe a Figuarts or maybe a Mafex of this character. It would be nice. But might have to check out what that new exclusive 2-pack has going. Because if that one looks pretty good, I might have to get that one too because I am nostalgic for that. I did grow up with that and have watched it, of course, since then. Oh, but she's got. Hold on. Excuse my. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I'm messing. Yeah, with this figure like before I even get it. Okay, she is kind of newer. All right. So there she is. Has the whole thing. We'll keep going with our details, but has your plastic. But has your wraps around here that matches with your mid torso. Has the darker and lighter purple shade there, and then your little hang down piece from the belt, just like a little of purple. Not the cleanest it's on. Yeah, it's a lot more on this side. I don't know if that's intentional. Looks like a mispaint in my mind, but got the orange triangle there and then that gold pattern again. That's actually very nice, and they did that very, very well. But yeah, and then has these little crossings here, kind of more belt there, and then of course with the skirt, it's all it actually is like an actual cloth there. It doesn't have any wire or anything. It's just there. Just sits there, but it's a very shiny piece there, so it's all right. It's just kind of, it does feel kind of cheap. It is very thin, and then on the inside has a kind of like a bluish tone, and that actually matches with the wraps of the legs there, so you can get the legs full articulation there, so that's very nice with that, and it matches with the torso and with the thing, so she's kind of like wearing like a full bodysuit of wraps, with just a shirt on essentially, and then a skirt. So pretty neat design, pretty cool, and just accurate. So yeah, not bad at all. And with her, she does have a bit of more articulation. She does have a ball at the neck, as you can see there. It is a separate piece, and then of course the dumbbell joint at the top of the neck. So altogether, she can look up about that far. Not the greatest look for Black Series still. Can look down pretty well, like a good angle there. Tilt. Could probably do a bit more. Can do a little hula hoop action, 360 of there, of course. At the shoulder, you have your hinge up there. Does take a bit of effort, but you can. It has to kind of like pop in. You kind of get it back up in there. Oh, did that actually mar the plastic? Did that do anything? Oh. I hope not. I think that's just how it is. Okay. Because then with that butterfly joint, okay, yeah, with the shoulder, you do have a butterfly joint in there. You don't get a lot. You go forward that far, go back about that far, do rotate around there. And then also have a single jointed hinged elbow. Goes up about that far. Goes your side to side. Does have different hands there, so where they do have the wraps that actually go down there, yeah, which is nice on the hands, but they go side to side instead of up and down, which would be nice because she does have two lightsabers. So it's kind of crazy that she gets two up and down, but then Asajj, who exclusively holds two lightsabers and uses them both at the same time a lot, doesn't have up and down hinge hands. That's very weird to me, but oh well. But then at the torso, okay, so this whole piece is all one piece down to a ball at the waist. So you can go back about that far, come forward, just kind of more straight up and nothing really too far forward, kind of like right there, but not very much. You get your side to side, then you get your full on 360. Very nice there. Also, didn't even mention the full exposed back there. Still like a good skin tone, just doesn't match the head. It's just weird. Like in the shadow, it's not too bad. Like they kind of blend in more, but that's just like, yeah, that's just how it is. But on the camera here and with these bright lights, it does not look that appealing. So I apologize, but it's a lot of white. So, and behind a white background, you guys probably weren't seeing too much detail, but you can see what's going on there. But then at the legs, here under the skirt, you do have full setup there. Oh, and also your crotch piece there is all shiny. What the heck? And then kick forward about that far. Kick back about that far. Even if you have the full skirt down, you can do that as well without a problem. Even going out is probably going to be your one thing. So if you want to go a little further, bring that up. You go out about that far, but with the skirt, you're kind of pushing it, but you're making it work. You do have a upper thigh cut, so that is a full, I'll just show again, a full 360. And on there, you do have your single jointed knee there as well. Comes up about that far. And then finally, at the shoes, at the feet, you can hinge back about that far, hinge forward about that far, and your ankle rocker. Pivot. Pivot. The pivot. The aloofus. Yeah, the aloof pins. We'll get her probably in more like a standard pose like that. Nothing too complicated. We'll see how well. Oh yeah, I didn't even look at her lightsabers, but they are her dual. Has like more of like a bluish gray to the hilt, and then with your black lines painted there, of course, has your red buttons there, and then they're very curved, very Count Dooku like. Also, one has a hole, one has a peg, so you can join them together, which is an insane. It's like a V shape, or it's like an angle, so it's kind of like a crazy kind of thing. Unless it's supposed to be the other way, which you can do. So maybe it's more like that. I forget how she uses it. I think it's more like this, probably. Where it's more all cross, because you want to do the double blade thing there, but then also gotta remember, you can also take out your pegs there, so they can just hold them. We'll actually do hers. Hers, oh yeah, because hers actually do go with her fit. This is a square. Maybe that's more of this one. If I can get it, bro. How is this gonna work? Guess we'll just see. See if I can do this. Like, what the heck? This is very, yeah, this is kind of tedious to try to get this lightsaber to fit into her thing. So, like, where do they sit then? Does it sit like this? Everything goes in that one pretty well, but how about the other one? No. So how does she wear them? Are they like what? So they would be facing away from each other. Maybe that's it. I need to do it like that. Bruh. There. Got one. Get the other. Okay. Yeah, that feels right. Where she's more like walking into a room is trying to be like kind of intimidating. Or just kind of like, oh, hello, Jedi, or whatever. Or like talking like to some kind of diplomats or whatever. They're being like, you diplomats, you think you know everything. I have taken your ship captive. I'm here want to kill one of you guys. So that's pretty cool. Pretty neat. Got some tude. Got some attitude. Or even just like that. Just like, oh, you dare challenge me kind of thing. Like, you really want to go there, bro? I don't want to get her. Like, it also kind of like elastic. So it kind of just springs back. It doesn't really want to stay in a place that you can like put it, but I also think of her having a more, I think, less billowy kind of thing. I think it was more skinnier. Bruh. Not bad, but I think we'll get her with her lightsabers, though. I think that is a mandatory for this character. You gotta have your sabers. That's this one. There we go. It's like two. Oh, that can just go in the hand. Fit, damn it. Bruh. Of course, now these hands are also a bit tight to open. Sitting in that box for too long. On hand, open. There we go. A little bit of doing, but we got it. As always. Kind of wish she had like more specific, kind of like, I don't know. I just wish she had like a up and down jointed hands here, because with the way that you're supposed to like hold these lightsabers when they have a curve to them, is it feels very specific, and these are kind of still generic hands, if I'll be honest. Like even like the way that like um what's her name? Yeah, this Jedi. Yeah, the way that she holds hers looks very well done. It just makes sense of how it fits in the hand. It's very even. This one is a bit of a battle. Like it feels like it's not really meant to even hold these lightsabers, but they do. I usually imagine her with them. There she is. Yeah. Well, hold on. Got some work to do, but she looks great, honestly. This pose, like, this is what she's meant to be in, like, for the rest of her life as well. Double bladed. Kind of ready to go. Just standing there being a badass. Trying to get my areas looking good. I think it's still like the fact that her face is a little morphed out of packaging. I think if I get that fixed, I think that'll help it a bit more. Oh no. That alright? It's just little like tweaks I'm trying to get here and there, because I want to make her look perfect. Because this is friggin' Asajj Ventress. I think that's it. Okay. That's it for now. She looks great. She actually looks pretty badass. Just standing there. Because I can just like imagine. I remember like seeing all the fights with her and Anakin and Obi-Wan. Crazy stuff, even with her, Obi-Wan, and Maul. I think they had a thing, even with Savage there, I think, as well. So, yeah, just a badass looking figure. Not top tier. I would probably prefer a whole different kind of look here. I wish that they would update this figure. I think this one needs like more specific sculpts and then better paint apps, and I think more accurate colors. Kind of more kind of muted, I think, which was probably the first one. But I still gotta see what they're doing with that with that new 2-pack with the Black Series one, where it's her and Anakin. What the hell? Excuse me. But yeah, sorry for the flashbang. Oh my god. But there we are. she's pretty cool. Get her. Well, we're going to get her over here. Get them all side by side. So far, because we still got Kit Fisto next up to do. Looking pretty good. Love this packaging that they have here. This is very nostalgic, specifically for me. Because I remember seeing this packaging as a child, as a literal baby. Like, what? Yeah, like, this was 20 years, so what is this made from? This is 2024, so I was 3 years old when this movie, technically, I guess, came out. Was it? Yeah, was it 2004? I thought it was like 2001 or something. I was like, bro, I was born that year. What the heck? I was like 3, or, yeah, I was 3 years old when this movie came out. And to see this old packaging again, the Revenge of the Sith specific, is very cool. It's very nice. Let's get an actual good shot of this. But yeah. Pretty good. Let's get this over here. Okay. There he is. Sorry for all the reflecting, because this thing is like so shiny. It's so reflective, like plastic, that it's like, yeah, you won't really be able to see the figure in actual clear lighting. But there he is. You got the ring. You got everything. You got the Anakin and Obi-Wan clashing. You got the Vader, like the cartoon Vader, kind of like looming over with the lava at the bottom there. Pretty nice packaging. Have your Star Wars Revenge of the Sith logo with the red fading to the Kit Fisto, and then you have the image of Kit Fisto at the end of there when he's fighting Palpatine with Mace Windu and a couple other Jedi, and friggin' dies, which kind of sucks, but there he is. He looks pretty cool. He's not smiling, Kit Fisto, but he's still cool. You got promo art there of him, like an actual image from back in the movie, like what he looked like there. And then, kind of like Revenge of the Sith, Kit Fisto. Celebrate the 20th anniversary of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith with figures from the Black Series featuring commemorative packaging in different languages of Star Wars Black Series. There's a nice promo shot of Kit Fisto. That's pretty cool. Then, attention, warning, it's Disney, it's Hasbro, not 03. And then at the bottom, have your, yeah, I got this at Walmart for $8, y'all. Shout out to my guys on Insta for connecting me with this. Brian, I think it was Brian. He does like Lego pictures, and he was like, "Yo, they got this at our Walmarts." And I was like, "Bro, I'm going there right now. I am gonna go buy those." They're just badass. So, thank you, bro. So yeah, so awesome figure. Oh, well, maybe they had a few of these because I know, yeah, I know for sure I got the Commander Cody because of him, for sure. Because I did a whole stream on that. Oh, well, that was like our previous Star Wars stream, like our, like our variety one there. But this one's pretty good. This is pretty good. This is amazing. But this is a very tricky one to also open. I sometimes don't know what to do. Can't remember what I did last time. I guess I just go from the bottom. Or go from the side. Oh, I think I do. See, I'm a maniac, so I just kind of like cut ahead. I just take it out of there. I think that's what I do. No, I do they got the side thing, so they want you to do the side, I guess. As much as I can do. Yeah, I can't remember. It's been a while since I've opened these. Because, of course, the last one was Commander Cody, but there's our X-Acto blade working. See what we can get out of this. I'm going to do this off camera because I do not want to cut myself. This is a very awkward way of trying to complete this task. Okay. Got one side tab. Got the... Trying to get the second one. This thing is like glued on, like so shut. Well, it's like, it's taped like so close to it, so I'm trying to find like any kind of air bubbles I can get. Oh god. A little bit of nicking here and there. But I'm trying to get it. I've so far got 2 pieces off. So just just shows you how like insane it is to like open these. Well, maybe I can just do just the bottom. Well, no, I'd have to do the side, and even with that, that's like a whole thing. Is there just like a bottom one? Can I just like just cut this out from the bottom? Be good, not have to worry about it. I mean, if I'm able. Not really sure. This is a very tricky situation. I'm just doing it just from the bottom. I know that's probably not the best way I'm doing this. I'm actually doing this pretty crudely, so. Ooh, but this is all I can really do. Because they literally glued on this bottom piece. I'm just gonna go for it. Alright. Excuse me while that was a whole ordeal. But this is what I did. At least the best I could salvage it. I knew there's probably like a cleaner way I can do that, but that's just it. It's just like because this is glued on. So I'm like, I can't do nothing because it's not taped on. It would be better if it was taped. Was it just taped on? But I can't get in there. It's like okay. Yeah, they taped this on the inside. Why would you do that? Why not on the outside? Bro. Alright. Screw up the copyright shit. I don't care about that. Or maybe I can like cut this in half, but I know I can salvage the top half. I think that part is gonna be the easier part in that case. Okay. There's our packaging. Looks cool. You can take out. Is it possible to take out? It should be. Oh, it also has tape down as well. I mean, makes sense there. There's your piece there. Well, there's your full package there. Look at that thing. That's so cool. I'm definitely keeping it at least. Because I gotta continue the collection. I got the Cody stuff. There's the paper into the pit. Into the darkness. But there's that Kit Fisto. All that art we saw on there. Pretty cool. Gonna keep most of that. Probably not the copyright stuff. Or the kit thing. But there's our Kit Fisto. Herein. All his plastic glory. Get set up here. Bring this down a bit to the level. keep doing our thing, but we'll get him out. He does have tape on his things. I will do this in front of my face so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Lightsaber acquired. And Fisto do Kiko or Fritto. The hair. It's the hair holding him back. There we go. That's a terrible noise. I apologize. A lot of cardboard paper. There he is. Oh my lord. What a man. Look at that. Look at our Kit Fisto. Looking all cool over there. Has the crazy kind of tentacle hair with the wraps. Very nice. Has the two that are in the front that are they have like the two darker tips there with the wraps on there. Has some polka dots all around. Not really too much of like a super green, but like has a lot of red like skin tones to it, but it looks pretty good. He's actually kind of like half smirking compared to his actual like his packaging, where he's mainly where did it go? Oh, it's over there. Yeah, where he's mainly kind of like just standing there, like ooh, like what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? It's like, bro, you're a Jedi Master. Yeah, there's 4 of you, and there's 1 of him. You guys can't get this guy? Like, what the hell? And they didn't. The 3 out of the 4, like, died instantly, including Kit Fisto, which is bullshit. Kit Fisto should have at least got something. And I think in some cases he kind of does, in some interpretations. There he is in his more traditional Jedi garb. Kind of in the Clone Wars, he really became more of an actual character. Of course, like in Legacy, of course, but I'm going by the canon as of how I see it. But yeah, there he is. All right, but yeah, so have his whole look going on there. Has the tunic with a kind of like a Buddy Brown kind of thing going on here, but pretty nice. It's still kind of earthy, but has the white shirt. Yeah, underneath you do see the neck there with the matching skin, and then have the arms coming down with your robes, and then has your belt here, has your lightsaber holder piece there, has all your little gadgets and stuff, pouches and storage things. Even has a little metal piece right there with a 1 gold, and then even on the buckle right there is painted. And then actually on the back here I just noticed that he has wraps down here, but they're not painted. Might need to get in there, because that's kind of weird that they don't do that. Also looks like I got a few like paint splotches there, so got one there, and then there's also one right there, so that kind of sucks. But oh well, at least I don't have like too many big things, and it's stuff and it's stuff I'm not really gonna be looking for that much either. So, and then down has the cover piece there with the same color as the rest of the robes, but then you have the Legs here, pants, actually using an older figure too, but this is kind of a newer figure from last year, I think. Or even like the year before, whatever, but does have your double jointed knees there, I guess, kind of, because they can kind of be hidden, I guess. Well, they're just out in the open. So this is kind of like an older figure just by itself as a reuse. Because I think this is just like a reissue of one they've done before. But just, I think, an updated kind of paint scheme on here. If it's updated, I don't know. No, but he doesn't. Oh, yeah, but he does have like his cool hands though. His big, kind of pointed kind of fingers. He's definitely not a human. Like, you know that for sure. But, you know, he's still a guy. He's still got, you know, he has those giant nails there, those claws. It's very good. And it's a very specific way of kind of using those hands and then kind of a force using, anyways. And then down to the boots, very shiny brown, super shiny brown. It is glowing. He is walking in moisture everywhere, I guess. Whatever that means, but you know. He's just cool. He's awesome. We'll get his lightsaber. We'll look at that real quick. See his hilt here. Yeah, mostly has your silver tone, but has your button, has your little thing there, has your kind of like your rivets there in the black at the top and right there. It is, I don't believe it's reuse of. Is it reuse? It might just be exactly reuse. I think that this is the same exact lightsaber. What the heck? Wait, no, she has a bigger button. Hold on. There goes Kit. No, that's exactly. Is it the same? Is it? This one seems more updated. What? The hilts are different. Are they? What? Wait a minute. No, lightsabers are this. Okay, the blades are the same. I mean, more over. Standard. I'm trying to see this. This is gonna annoy me all night if I don't see this through. It looks different. I think it's different. Yeah. Okay. It is different because he has those black parts, so it's more filled out. And I think the top of his hilt is a little bit bigger. And then, of course, the button is actually red on this. She doesn't have anything. She has, oh yeah, she does have a button on the side there too. So they're basically like almost the same, except for like two little details. So they have the, okay, he does have actual little rivets there at the bottom, while hers, it doesn't. It has like a little a little square thing. So they are different. So that's good. That's very nice to see. Sorry if I was burying my mic into my throat. If it was like, ooh, I have a tendency, I think, to do that and never realize. Because I'm grabbing figures. I need to get Kit Fisto. So apologize. But yeah, but they are different lightsabers. We're going to get Kit. We're going to get into his articulation as usual. Look down. Oh, he looks down about that far. Goes up. Only about that far, not too crazy. Can look side to side. There, not very much really going on because of the hair, but does a little bit of loop-de-loop around. Little tilt. Tilt. Not bad. Shoulders, just your hinge there, but he does have a butterfly, so can go forward really far and go back super far. What the heck, that is insane. And yeah, and especially with the lightsaber wielding hand, that's going to be very useful there to get better poses. But then the torso, have your dumbbell joint there, so full 360, but you tilt and tilt there, and then forward, only about there, back, pretty okay. Loop to loop, your hula hoop action. And then at your legs, you have your just your standard kick forward at the thigh, kick back, not that far, go out. Not the greatest, but decent. Have your upper thigh cut. That's hidden by the actual skirt piece there. Your double jointed pinned knee. Ow, that was my thumb. But that goes like all the way up, so that's not too bad. And with all the bagginess and everything, I think it kind of helps cover it up. It's just more so her. It's the problem for her because I know that her legs are not going to make it. Yeah, but Ventress, she's fine. I think that she'll hold up, but probably not her. He's going to be a little wobbly too, to be frank. Then at the boots, don't have a swivel there. See, that's kind of the thing too. That's weird that she has boot swivel, but he doesn't. It's very, gotta make it pinless, y'all. We can do the thing, maybe. But then at the feet, kick forward, kick back, and then have your ankle rocker. Pivot. Pivot. Ankle rocker pivot. As usual. Look at this guy. It's almost like he's ready to hold a lightsaber. Okay. And he only has side to side hands. I didn't mention that before. But they go in and out. And they do rotate. But there he is with his lightsaber. I gotta do him more. Hold on, let me get him in a more dynamic pose. Unless we do make him left-handed, he probably could. Excuse me while I still work on this pose. Bro. Look at this majestic motherfucker. Bro. He's like, on guard. Because I feel like, yeah, I know that Kid Fisto is more of like a badass. But I feel like that this like is like some shit he might do. He's like, yeah, but if he knows he's gonna win a fight and he's very sure, he might get like a little arrogant. He might be like, brother, I'm too good for school. Uh, yeah, I'm too cool for school. I'm just gonna. I was but the learner, but now I am the master in some way. But not full on. He can still control himself. He's very wise. He's very powerful and just a a badass because he's like a weird, kind of like a fish guy, but kind of has like the giant like the tendrils and everything. So he's like kind of like a squid guy, I guess, or octopus dude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. He has 15 of these tendril things. So, what the hey? What's Kid Fisto? Is he a water dude? Look at that dude. Look at him. He looks so good. Even kind of just more casually like that, but or even where he's like, huh, you dare. He's kind of like, oh, yeah, this will be a good time. Like, he just knows. He's got that swagger with him, bro. If I gotta be honest. He is like mogging the camera right now. Look at that. Straight up mogging, bro. This is so cool. What a cool looking figure. I do kind of wish he came with a robe though. I'm just kind of like, if you're gonna do a full thing and you're doing all these figures, but on the picture you show him with the robes, but he doesn't come with the robes. So it's kind of like, that would have been nice if they added that, but if it's, I guess, historically accurate to what they put out as actual toys, I get it. And they've had this mold, and they probably just don't want to put more money into it because, I got this for $8 brother. I'm not going to complain that much. Like, why would I want to nitpick? Even though I got it for like super cheap. So, yeah. It's still a badass figure. And I can probably use robes from any other figures. I don't know if I have that many available because I think all the ones that are wearing them have them. I think there are some that come with one or two that aren't used. No. I think they all wear theirs because I like my Jedi with my robes, honestly. So so I might have to get some for him for sure. That'll definitely look good for Kit there. So very, very cool, very nice. All right. So now finally, it is, what's our time? 8:10. We're making pretty good time. Down here to the end, we're probably gonna end at like 9 or something. That's my guess. Expect another hour. But Kid Fisto, a great figure, a really fun figure. Looks great. I think there could have been like little things, like they should have updated these legs for sure. I think that's always like my main thing, just update the old legs and kind of get closer to realistic as much as you can and give me up and down hands. Come on. Like they all have lightsabers, and she can hold hers technically the best. It just looks way more suitable for her. But yeah, but they all look great. But yeah, but we'll get on to our last things. Of course, we got Obi-Wan here. I'll just put him in front of there then, because I don't do Obi-Wan next. It'll be Anakin, because he's in the baggie, so he's already all loose, but he was $30 at my local comic shop, Rocket Comics. Shout out to those guys. Dudes are great. I'm just gonna pull these out. Oh. There we go. There we go. Got my little thing off. That'll go over there. And then got a whole baggie here, which I do keep. Always keep the baggies if you get them. Get Anakin out of here. Oh. Okay. Make sure everything is all intact. It's not. What the heck? The freaking blade is broken. What the hell? Man. Did that like do that on its own, or did it come packed like that? I think it came packed like that because it wasn't connected. That sucks. Man, alright. Well, still. Great sculpt. Looks cool. I guess he won't be holding it. I mean, it's not like I don't have like already like 4 other like Anakin lightsabers, because so many characters come with them. But that's like a nice updated one. So I'll have to find some way to get that, because I also do like how this blade is. It's very yeah, it's a very solid blade, and I like the color of the blue. It matches well with the Anakin figure, and then of course the actual saber with the red, and then the thing, and then the black, and then the thing, and then the thing. But you can see the piece right there. That's supposed to be the peg, because these lightsabers, honestly, I don't like the pegs that they use, especially older figures. I'm like, guys, y'all need to make this a lot easier to get out without me fearing of breaking these. And especially, I think it's with the Anakin sabers, I think, mostly. Well, maybe like 1 or 2 other ones, but I think we fixed them, hopefully, or just kept them in there. I don't know. I can't remember. But, in any case, there's Anakin. Star of the show. Well, that's what we want, but got Anakin here. He actually looks pretty decent for when I'm thinking of Anakin, like around this time. It's like it's a pretty good interpretation of a Hayden Christensen with that shorter hair, at least their first go around. But then of course they did the Ahsoka version, and when that one came out, I just decided to get this one instead, because I was like, compare the two. I definitely prefer the other one, even though I would say the likeness is definitely closer with that other one, but that's when he's a little bit older. And this is kind of like their interpretation of him during that time, if he probably was more closer to that age. But he still has the scar. He has the flowing brown hair. I think it actually kind of looks better in person, even compared to on camera, but it looks pretty decent. You just can't get like a great angle with it on camera, but in person, I think it's actually pretty well done, depending on the angle that you can get. maybe more like an upward angle with this. No, it just looks kind of weird. All right. But it looks cool, and I love the armor. It's all just kind of like that bluish kind of gray hue to it, but has your Republic symbol there in that same kind of maroon color as his undershirt there. A little purpley too, but a little more, yeah, not as bright. Like up here, like it's super bright, and then you have that darker blue there, and then your belt there with your gold pieces there. And then have your gloves, of course, the robot one, the little like the clamps on there, but it's still have a glove and padding there, and then the regular hand with the glove and the padding there. Then have your tunic piece kind of continuing down here with the blue, and then have actual fabric under here too. And I think that that's like the main thing, other difference with the other one too, is that he uses more actual fabric. I think it's all like mainly fabric, like on like all the things and everything. No, I think it's like it's also cloth up here, I think too, as well. But I don't know. But I think I like this more. It kind of blends in more. I didn't even see that it was an actual cloth like until like just now. It didn't even like hit my register, but it is. But it looks so good, and it doesn't really bother me. But you do have your older legs with your double jointed knees there, so standard issue there. But has those boots, has some cool boots, has some awesome little kind of front padding to them and wrap around, super shiny still. Pretty cool. Pretty nice. When was this? This was, it doesn't say. Can't remember what year this one came out. It feels like 2020. What is this? Clone Wars. So, well, this is like the 50 years of Lucasfilm. We'll see that with Obi-Wan later. So we'll actually get our info then. But pretty good. Nice figure. We'll get into articulation. Same kind of thing. Has the ball with the neck and everything. Looks up only about that far. Not great for Anakin. Comes down pretty far. That's actually pretty good there. Get your tilt side to side. Let's have your 360. I do want to try to get back more. His Adam's apple does move a bit. His neck does kind of move with his head a little bit, but you can get up to like there, but I feel like it should be a little bit more, but oh well. And then at the shoulder, can hinge all the way up to there. Because this is a separate piece. There, it's another ring inside there, and then you do have your butterfly joint that also works forward there and goes back there, so very well. You can still get wrap around it, and then you can get your wrap around with the full shoulder, by moving the ring around with the elbow, with the shoulder pad there. So even though it is kind of probably getting a little more loose, but I can get it more. So I start moving this other one. Okay, so how they kind of do warp a bit if you're moving them too often. All right. In any case, at the elbows, you have a single jointed theirs. They go up about that far. Then they do have rotation. And then you do have side to side there, and then side to side joint there for the hands. Why do they not have up and down? I don't get it, y'all. You can just do it. Be way easier. But then at your torso, you can have another ball going on there. So full 360. You can do side to side, forward, back. Pretty good. Kick forward about that far. Kick back about that far. Upper thigh cut hidden up there. As usual, just our same articulation. Double jointed knee goes up if you're not pinching. The skirt, you go up about that far. I think Kid Fisto is winning. He can kick his own ass, essentially. And then nothing at the boots because you got your peg there. And then the shoe goes back, goes forward, and forward facing pin. Fur rocker, ankle rocker, bad. But I guess we'll just have him just with his lightsaber in his hilt because the blade's broken. Probably why someone sold this to Eddie. There he is. Looking actually pretty good. This... Oh yeah, he actually looks pretty good. I like this guy a lot. His feet are already kind of giving out on me, but rest of them, look at the fit. The fit is fire. This is so good. And even with the more kind of like made up head, I think it just works better. I think this is more kind of like what I would imagine that they would do. And that's the point, that they would like imagine this specific cartoon and designed, but into the Black Series design. And I feel like it just works. I think it looks good. Of course, then they do the Ahsoka series version where he has that look, but but this is on another level, bruh. This looks so good. I love this. I can't wait to get this Obi-Wan open. I'm kind of scared to open this Obi-Wan now because knowing he's so rare, but I know so many people already have this figure already open, already been displayed for years. And it just looks so good. And if I'm having my Anakin, I gotta have my Obi-Wan. I'm sorry, y'all. We gotta open it. It's gonna be so sad to open this beautiful packaging of this figure. But Anakin looks great. Even if we can't do too much with him right now, but we need to get Obi-Wan. We need to get this duo a go-go. I should have grabbed. Do I have my... I might be able to get some lightsabers. I'll check on that later, just to have them have one. But in any case, this Anakin is badass. I love this. I love this design. I probably prefer it over the new Ahsoka series. Even though this is an older figure, I think it still holds up pretty well. And, it works for the Black Series. It goes with it all. And then finally, getting on with our our main event. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan. Now, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Bro, it was like 5 years ago. I mean, I guess 5 years not being called your name that you've been called your whole life is a long time. But, like, it hasn't been that long, has it? Or it was like 10 years? Like 16 years? 20 years? And he's that disheveled? He's that destroyed? But yes, there he is in all his plastic holy glory. Star Wars, The Clone Wars. This is the old packaging. Lucasfilm, 50 years. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan with the fit. Obi-Wan with the fit from the show. Why is his hair orange? It is brown, but it's a weird color. And it's kind of purplish on here. Though it is blue, but looks pretty good though. The bottom. Got this for $60. Also at Rocket Comics. I know a lot, but I feel like it kind of evens out. $8, $11, 30, probably about like 20, 25. So, like, okay, gotta spend it for him. Gotta do it. I love this Obi-Wan. On the back, have your Star Wars, The Clone Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi nameplate there. No other images of him, but you have your Lucasfilm 50th anniversary with your thing. Commemorate the first 50 years of Lucasfilm with figures inspired by Star Wars, The Clone Wars, and then that's in multiple languages that you can read there. And then you have your timeline, 1971 Lucasfilm, and then I guess that same year was Star Wars A New Hope. So it makes sense there. In 1981 you had Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Or I guess A New Hope was like somewhere in between. Well, no. Empire Strikes Back, like in the middle of those two. I think that was like a few years, but you know. And then 1991, you had your Legends. In 2001, you had, up to 2001. Okay, so 1991, you had Episode 1, and then probably like 1994 or like 8 or something, whatever it was. It was still the 90s, but late, nearly 2000. It's like 1998 or something, or 1999, whatever. But that's them right there. 2001, get Revenge of the Sith. So that is 2001. That was the year I was freaking born, brother. What the hell? And then 2008, The Clone Wars. That's this specific. So that was like 7 years after the last one. And they're like, hey, new Clone Wars. By the way, there was one like a year or two ago, like a bit ago, like maybe a year, or like the same year that came out, like the original, but this was 2008 with this rendition. So what? It's been almost, what? Because it's 2026, so it's been 18 years. Is that right? 8, 9, 10. 18 years. It's almost been 20 years. Oh my freaking god. 18 years since Clone Wars came out. I remember the day that this came out, I had the DVD of the original movie because I think that's how they did it. I don't think, well, it probably did go to theaters, but then it had a home release. I was like, oh, cool. And it was very interesting. Because I remember watching those videos. So I was like freaking 7, maybe 8. Yeah, when that came out and when I saw that. 2011 had your Star Wars Rebels, Force Awakens, your Last Jedi, Rogue One, pretty good. The the Rise of Skywalker in 2021. Dun dun dun. Have your Solo. How to kill your franchise right here. Even though like people don't like that, yeah, and I get it. Return of the Jedi, but I like it. I grew up with it. I think that was the one I've watched like a few more times because I watched A New Hope a few times, and that one was always like, oh, what's going on? It's very dark. This is very serious. And then Empire Strikes Back is like insane. It's a lot more story heavy, so I think as a kid I kind of tuned out more, but I was like, I know this is badass. It's cool. But then you got Solo and all your sequel trilogy. Since then, it's been something, but they've been pretty decent recently. Hopefully, they'll make a good movie again. Yeah, with Mandalorian and Grogu. So let's see how this goes. But I'm gonna get this guy open. Gonna have to figure out how to do this because I do want to keep this intact as much as I can. I guess I can just do. I could do from the top. That could be an option because that makes sense for what I'm doing anyways. So. Well, do I cut here and then, or do I cut here and then that just flips up? Because if I cut there, that still has that. But if I cut along the thing, well, this would be the easiest way. Or just do, or do. I don't know. I'm just gonna go for it. So, using our trusty X-Acto, I do want to do this back here. So excuse me while my thing is going, but I'm gonna mute up because this is probably gonna be noisy, and I've been torturing y'all with my opening noises already and destruction. So we'll be right back. And we're back. Excuse for that long pause. This was a nightmare to open. As you can see, it is not that clean, but that's why I'm keeping this and not the plastic. Okay, I do want to get out, if I can get out the art of Obi-Wan. That's me. It's like, what? What do you mean, blood? Like, yeah, bro, that's me. Like, what the hell? Alright, there's our art. Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan. Sorry, I keep thinking about Alec Guinness. But look at the clone. That's so clean, bro. I gotta find a way to keep that as clean as possible. So, yeah, I think that was the better way of doing it compared to doing the other way. That was very loud. Hasbro paper. To the nether realm. Go hang out with like slime cubes or whatever. Or like a ghast. Or a pigment. Alright. There's our Obi-Wan. I can't believe I actually have this figure in my hands. This looks so good. And yeah, and as you can see, they did shape it to go with the clone thing. So that's unique, but it's not enough for me to care to keep it because it's just plastic. There's our lightsaber. There's our Obi-Wan. There's our plastic, our final figure that we are opening. All right. Here's our Obi-Wan. Looking pretty great, honestly. Except for the fact that he is missing a bit of paint to complete his beard, especially there at the top, and it does have a big old seam line. It does look a bit dirty, but this is Obi-Wan. This is Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan, like right here, like episode 3. Like this is so good. But he has a little brighter brown to his hair. I feel like he had like a darker brown still, even then, but you know. But this is still a good look for Obi-Wan. I love this look so much. This is iconic. Have the more actual clone white armor there with the Republic symbol there as well, but has the kind of like the full like clone armor arms there with the pads and everything, and then the under armor and everything there. Of course, Anakin is more just, with just the top plate. Doesn't really care too much for the side armor, which makes sense because not all of them had that, but I think Anakin more specifically did have that, and he kind of just stuck with it. But he didn't really have like the top armor like later. He just had the tunic, but still having the gloves, very specific, and it makes sense. But There you go. And then you have his more basic, actually, kind of tunic really going on here with Obi-Wan. But, you know, a little more tied up from episode 3. Has the clasps there, has your pouches there. Kind of same thing going on there. Might be the same as Kit Fisto. No, that looks different. That looks very different. So definitely different. And your tunic there. Have your underbody there. Kind of wish that this was fabric, but it makes sense, or that there was like some kind of an under fabric just to give it more something. But I think this guy's just pretty good by himself. You don't really need to improve much to add anything. But you have your knee pads there. You have your clone trooper armor here. Oh, this guy's kind of tough, but little discoloration with the knee pads and all that, but kind of gets covered up, and with the camera, of course, it's getting blown out. Anyways. But yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty neat. Super cool. Love this look for him. It even has some detail on the back there. Very nice. We'll get into his articulation easily enough. Looks up the most out of any of them. So good, Obi-Wan. Buries the chin to the armor, not all the way down, but very well. Side to side, 360 there, and then with the armor. See, this I'm still kind of worried about. Yeah, because with Anakin's, it's a little more warped now. But with Obi-Wan's, like, it's very nice. It's very clean. So we will do our thing. So articulation, whoop, it kind of punches in more. Kind of like the most I feel comfortable with right now is like that much, because I don't want to warp this too much, but you can do a full rotation with it, and you can have your butterfly joint, so it goes up there, but it does kind of crease that a bit, so I don't want that crease to become a thing. So you can go back that far. Doesn't have a upper thigh cut, does have a double jointed elbow, but it does kind of pinch there, so you are a little bit limited, kind of like mainly to 90. Like a tiny bit, but you don't want to pinch that. Yeah, because then it gets pinched up in there. You see that plastic, a little bit of marring gonna start there. So want to avoid really that as much as you can. You do have a and yeah, and you do have your bicep swivel, but it's on the inside. It's like a peg still, but it is a really big kind of like a single joint there. Anyways, so pretty cool. But then you have a side to side hand here for the left hand, but then have a up and down for the right kind of trigger finger hand. But this is your lightsaber holding hand, so it makes sense. So thank you, Obi-Wan, for also being a excellent example of what a good pair of hands look like. Like, if you're gonna give him, you know, a lightsaber, at least one of the hands has to be an up and down. It's fine that this one is side to side. You can do whatever you want with that, but your weapon wielding is up and down. Unlike hers, unlike his, and unlike his. Hers are great. I can't believe it. Yeah, she has 2 up and down joint hands of all the characters. It's gotta be her. Let me bring her in more. She deserves her to be all a little more together. There we go. But yeah. Obi-Wan. Being another goat. Being a goated figure. And then at the torso, have your ball. Crunch forward. Crunch back. Tilt. Tilt. A little bit of rotation. The legs. Kick forward. Not that far. Kick back. Not that far. Kick out. Not that far. Not bad at all. Have your does have a upper thigh cut. Has some actually cool padding designing there. Has some side pads with the under armor. There you do have a single jointed knee there, you go about that far. Don't want to pinch that too much as well because that's a separate piece. Again, but you can do rotation. It actually does kind of help to keep these pieces on straight. And then you do have rotation there again. So that's kind of like your boot swivel in a way. And then at your feet, hinge forward about that far, hinge back about that far, and you have your ankle rocker pivot in that all white. Plastic is a little tough at first, but once it gets broken in, it'll be pretty decent. Get him his feet looking the right way. Then we'll get into Obi-Wan's a lightsaber, an iconic lightsaber. Has the classic silver at the top with the gold. If you're black kind of ribbing kind of there, and then your triggers there. That one right there. And then your little end piece here, that's always perfect. Then you have your peg here. If you don't want it in there, you can separate it, and this one actually comes off pretty easily. It's just held on there by friction, so it doesn't feel like it's gonna like break if I keep doing this. So that's actually very nice. So we will be careful because you never know, but it can go into his thing as well. So I do want to see if I can get them stanced up. Okay, come on. Casual Obi-Wan. What's a casual Obi-Wan? Oh. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like he would be like a... Yes, Obi-Wan like an arms crossed guy, do y'all think? I think that's kind of like a default. He's kind of like, what's going on? Like, he's just watching. I mean, it's not perfect with this thing. Yeah, and then they have some dings are getting built up there. I just always like see him where he's just like, oh, Anakin, what are you doing? But I can't really get it with this pose, so sorry. Okay, we'll just have them side by side for now. Bro. Here they are. Until Anakin is slightly taller than Obi-Wan. Very clearly. But makes sense. But he's still a young chump because you got Obi-Wan over here. He is tired, but he is like in his prime now. This is his prime years, bro. He is at his peak. Especially like at episode 3. He is He is peak Obi-Wan. He is like, oh, this is the worst thing to ever happen to me, but I am at my peak level, so I can literally defeat this guy. Yeah, basically, like, the chosen one because of the dark side, because of his arrogance. Because he literally, like, is like, don't try it. And he's like, oh, yeah, oh no, he's gonna try it. And I told him, don't do it. I'm gonna get you, but this is before that. This was years, like a couple years, a few years between that. So it all changes, but they look great together. They look spectacular. We'll get Obi-Wan with his lightsaber. If I can get Anakin to stand like a human being. Anakin, you were just standing. It's not that hard. It's clearly not that hard. Put our lightsaber back in. Put it in his right hand with the up and down, and okay, those hands open up pretty easily. Oh yeah, look at this dude. Look at this guy. You do not mess with this dude. He is missing. Yeah, he's missing just that little bit. Make that beard look perfect, but he looks so good. He looks so badass, even just standing there with his lightsaber. Yeah. Well, I definitely need to get Anakin's for sure because, of course, it kind of sucks that this doesn't work. But these are great figures. These all look great together. Like, oh my god. And yeah, it's kind of like, and I might as well just have them all have their lightsabers out. So I'm gonna try to get out of here real quick, and then I'm gonna get to my accessories. So I shall be right back. Asajj, you need a or Ventress, as they always called her. And they're like, Ventress. And I'm like, her name's Asajj. But I guess they do call him like Kenobi and Skywalker, but no one says Fisto. Yeah, they're like, gee, Fisto. What the heck? And then no one says her name, as we've seen. I gotta get out of here. So I shall be right back. We're gonna take another little break and then we'll be out of here. Hopefully. All right, I'm back. Got a couple of ones. I think these are mainly Luke or kind of like, or these might be kind of like later or like early on Hasbro ones. So both of them do not have the red on the button, which is dumb. But if I can possibly use one, I would use this one that has the actual black on it, because the other one doesn't even have the black. But I feel like it's just coming right off anyway, so not too concerned. But there you have him, but it's a lot thinner, not as bright as his original one. And these are like even a less great feeling. I do not like these, like pulling these ones, because they're so thin and they're so tight in there. It's just like, yeah, this is gonna stay like that forever. Like, it doesn't look bad on him. Like, just by himself, it doesn't look bad. But then you get these two together, and it's like, oh, okay. You see the night and day with that. So it's always something. Okay. Cool. Well, we'll just, I don't know. They just don't do it. Oh. At least that didn't break, but it's still annoying. But I guess he'll just have that on his hilt, or he can just hold it on there. But they look just great together anyway, so maybe I'll just have them just standing there. So sorry, Obi-Wan, you're gonna lose your blade, because I want you two matching at least. Yeah, I'll have to remember like the pose I did before. What did I do before? I think he was just standing there, right? They're both just standing there. I don't know. Maybe if I get Anakin in hand. Sorry, I'm trying to get Anakin now to work with me. I'm trying to get these guys in decent poses. That's just not just them just standing there. I'm like, you gotta do something. Alright. That's okay. For Anakin, he's just like, he's like, I'll try to look like a badass. Even if I am kind of cringe. Everyone's just like, I'm just a natural. I'm a diva. I don't know. I had them good, and then I keep messing with them, and then I'm like, well, what the heck am I doing? Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's a good pairing right there. Look at those two. Looking smooth. Well, we're gonna get these actually stood up. Then we will lower my camera up to get closer comparisons, because we are gonna get to our comparison round and try to get through that pretty quickly, because we've been going through for 3 hours and 9 minutes. A long episode. So we'll get massage there. There they all are. Here's our, here, I'll do massage. Okay. Thank you, Asajj. Really, really appreciate it. I mean, it is kind of accurate to what she does. She does fuck up these Jedi. Even though she's not a Sith. Okay. She's just an assassin. Whatever. Rule of two. Palpatine, like, broke that shit, like, immediately. Like, after, like, years of becoming his master. He did have Plagueis. And then he had Maul. Alright. Get her going. Be mindful. Yeah. What's her name? Where's your box? Oh. Ayla Secura. Yeah, Secura. Ayla Secura. A cunning warrior and Jedi Knight during the Rise of the Clone Wars. Ayla fought on many battlefields, a master of the emotional detachment necessary in the Jedi Order. She tried to pass on what she learned. Not very much. Ayla Secura, or Sakura, or Sakura. I think it's Ayla Secura, or Ayla. I think it's Ayla. What have I been saying the whole time? Ayla Secura. Am I going insane? I can't remember what I was saying, but there's Kit Fisto. What the heck? What the heck? They look pretty great together. Yeah. Look at this crew. The classy ass crew. I now gotta do comparisons. Here, I'll do them like this. I'm gonna scoot this by so we're a little more centered. Hold on, I'm gonna get Obi-Wan one more time. Okay. I think that's cool. Obi-Wan, you're kind of teeter-tottering. I don't like it. You also look like you're not looking where I want you to. It's just weird, like how short he is compared to Anakin. Okay. Ah, everything's falling. Man, this is all teeter-tottering. Okay. This is decent. Obi-Wan is still. Okay. Here we're going. Alright, that's good for now. Alright, we're gonna. What I'm trying to think. Well, now we're gonna. get out our thing. Okay, we're gonna do our comparisons. We're gonna do them quick. I want to get this done because this is almost a 4-hour stream. This is 3:16. Austin's 3:16. Have I just kicked your ass? Good reference. First, we got Obi-Wan, our episode 3. The SH Figuarts with a casting cave head, which is actually meant to be going onto this body, but I got it and cleared it out a little bit and put some tack in there so it could fit on the neck. So I might be able to work on there. Everyone's so loud outside. But then I have my episode 3 Anakin with a custom head. This is just one off of eBay that I got. It's pretty good. Works very well. But definitely need to see how they look on these ones at some point. I won't be able to do that tonight. I apologize, just based on time and of how much I want to compare with everything, but they all look good. Then I got Mace Windu, of course, there. Works there. Then we'll get Yoda in here right in the middle, because it's Yoda. With that, we'll get this going on here. I think this is all of our Jedi. All of our standard ones. How's that? Excuse me. You can be right there. There we go. That's my comparisons. Look at that. They all look so good. They look great. I love this. I love having my prequel Jedi coming up over here. Yoda. Alright, then we'll do our episode 1, Obi-Wan, and our Qui-Gon Jinn. Well, we keep doing that. There we go. Well, he was actually pretty good. And no, okay. And the blue and the greens actually match, so that's fun. Of course, you got younger Obi-Wan and older Obi-Wan. And then, of course, Qui-Gon. He's gone. I mean, he is literally gone. He's dead, but he's a Force ghost. Because I guess he's like the first to ever do that or whatever they said. I don't know if that's still canon, but whatever. Get Kit in there. But they look good. Look pretty decent. Obi-Wan from beginning to that era, you see how much the man has changed. Still the same guy, though. I do want to see if they're a little bit more. You do kind of see it. There's like a bit of a droop. You see the age changes the man. Qui-Gon isn't perfect, I'll be honest, but it still works. And I'm still like, that's still Liam Neeson. And then I'm getting on with more Jedi, but doing our alternate comparison. I have one more Obi-Wan. Have his series look here. Have him with the little droid. He's holding it. He's got his robes on. He has like the wind blowing. It looks pretty decent there. Then I have my The Mandalorian Ahsoka figure. It's the only Ahsoka figure I have right now. Definitely need to get more. Need to get the actual Clone Wars one to go with these guys, and then need to probably get the newest, like the Ahsoka series, like either one, like the white one, or like the other one. It would just look so good. But then you got this Obi-Wan, and he's pretty decent. I wanna. Okay, Ayla Secura. There you go. See, I know the name. I just have to say it like a million times before it becomes normal. Kit Fisto, Asajj Ventress, Ayla Secura, and then Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Ahsoka and Obi-Wan or Ben. Is this Ben by now? I don't know. I think he's still Obi-Wan. He hasn't turned into Ben Kenobi yet, but he's getting there. All right, then. Now moving on, going specifically with our Clone Wars, and kind of sticking with our clones as well. First have Commander Cody, and we got Captain Rex, our respective clones for our respective generals. So, pretty cool. Pretty badass. Of course, I got Cody with his first figure's big gun. That's what I prefer. And he also has, of course, the Order 66 on there, which works with this, because based on Ayla with that too. I think it's like the same feet that they're using for these figures too. Is it the same one? It just looks a little bit more. I don't know. I think I think that this is just printed more cleaner, but I think it's the same. I would not be surprised because it looks like the knee pads are the same too. So probably same. Leg, but I'm not sure. So yeah, not bad, but looks great. And then Rex, of course, looks amazing with Anakin. They're a nice duo to finally have here. But you got your clones following your dude. Why are they all looking? But yeah, very cool, very cool. I need to move on. We got my Archive Wave clones. This is the 501st. I think specifically Anakin's team. So in the all blue, and this was what he stormed the Jedi Temple with. So pretty good. Some generic clones. I do need to get some more clones and get some of Cody's, at least, because he's the only other commander I have. Well, he's the only commander I have. All right, and then going on, we'll get Count Dooku here. Of course, he works more so with Asajj Ventress. I keep calling her just by her name. And then have Cad Bane. I know, not really, I would say, a Jedi level threat, but he did steal a holocron. He has had encounters with these characters. But they look great together. They all look amazing. Even if I kind of prefer not seeing Cad Bane's eyes, but I kind of prefer him like this. He's like, I hate this. I'm a cowboy, but yeah. Get this. Next, got our classic. Gotta have them in every display. These figures that can't stand up on their own. But they actually work well with these little things I gave them. But our battle droids, they're actually kind of tall. I forget how tall these guys are. Bruh. Alright. Pretty good. Pretty decent. Roger. Let me cut down. Them clankers. Then, next. We got Darth Maul here, my fully double-bladed hooded Darth Maul. Kind of like his introduction. I'm like in the desert kind of thing. And then have my book version. This is him, I guess, training with Palpatine. But it looks pretty good. They look great. I love me my Maul action. Need to definitely get one of the Clone Wars ones. I need to get the series version, because that one looks perfect for being like a Clone Wars. So I'll definitely get that one. But then moving on with more Sith, and now these aren't Clone Wars. These are Rebels and also Gamerverse. But they're just more Sith I can really put in, even if they're not technically Sith, because these are the Inquisitors. And I know this isn't this era, but yeah, this is like with Vader, and the Empire, but I'm like, they still look cool. Like, look at that. That Grand Inquisitor looked great. Then you have, I think, Second Sister from from Jedi Survivor. And then this one is a custom head. I forget who did it, but the guy who did it was like, it's masterful. It made this figure like 10 times better. I literally bought this head to get this figure. And then our last two Inquisitors from the Obi-Wan show. You got that guy, I forget his name, and you got her, the other main character of Obi-Wan. So, there you go. Very specific. It's very weird. But yeah, but very cool. I think that's like fourth sister or like whatever. I don't know. That guy's like 8. I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, these Inquisitors are always very weird, but they're cool. I like their design. I like having a group of weird Sith dudes that all have double-bladed lightsabers. I will not complain about that. I need to get the rest anyways. I want to complete that team. And then for our big bads of the all Star Wars, get our alternate Anakin as well. Got Darth Vader from Empire Strikes Back, which is my favorite Vader. This is the set that came with Luke and him. This is like so good. It's so cool. Anakin, meet your future self. A murder robot. It looks so badass. He's so badass. And yeah, and with the wired cape, it just makes it so much more. And of course, we have the man behind the scenes of everything, manipulating and planning. Those who choose the dark side of the Force. The Emperor. Looking so good. Looking so cool. These all look great together. And then our final round of comparisons, kind of like more of our fun ones. But one's also kind of like with Clone Wars a bit, but extra. But first to do one more droid comparison, had to get R2 in here. I mean, how can I not? It's R2-D2. He should have been like first ballot, but he's at the fun. He's at like best for last, because this is our newest one that we've had. And so he scales pretty well. Here with Anakin and Obi-Wan. And then we got Jar Jar, because he's in Clone Wars. They have weird things go on with him around. He's like with Padme, I think, a lot of the times, because he works for her. But he keeps screwing up. Oh yeah, well there's like a whole episode where it was like Jar Jar and like a C-3PO. Like the whole time, it was like it was a lot. And that was like first or second season, and I was just like, oh, what? What's happening? This is so ridiculous. But they're fun. Great figures. And then our last two figures, these ones are basically just for fun. Okay. Well, this first one, alternate version of Anakin. This is, of course, Vader at the end of Return of the Jedi, so a different look, so where we actually see his face in there. So one where he's becoming an actual professional Jedi, and one where he's slowly dying. And this is the SH Figuarts, the very first Darth Vader, with the Black Series cloth on there. That works very, very well. It looks great. Yeah, and I got that figure from Stop Motion Rob. Or Rob Stop Motion. I think it's Stop Motion Rob. Sorry, Rob. You're a badass, bro. Thank you for this figure. It looks so good. I love this little Kit Bash situation I was able to get up on here. Yeah, because I kind of like him with the billowing cape. Even if he's like standing there and it's not really like too much covering, because you can have it cover, because of course it kind of works better for when he's about to die, but you know, you gotta show off that broken hand at least. Even if he is a bit small in my opinion, but that's from back in the day. All right, but we're gonna end off with Gus right here, my phone is literally about to die, apparently. So I'm going to get going. Thank y'all for joining me. This has been a very long stream. Be sure, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment what you want to see here on the channel. Go check out the Instagram. Got pics, got stuff. Check out the shorts. Expect shorts. And I will see y'all in the next video. May the force be with you. See y'all next Friday. Have a good Monday. Goodbye. My phone's dying. These